Hey Marissa, would you mind a second? What happened? Reimu, the main character of Anapoke was Satoshi until the last series, right? Well, the main characters have changed in the current series. Before that, Satoshi was the main character for over 20 years. It's truly a legend. That's right, that's what I was concerned about. The first main character of Pokemon is called Red in the media. Isn't it quite similar to Satoshi? Is there something to do with it? There is a strong connection, but in order to explain this connection, the history must be explained step by step from the beginning of the series. I wonder if their relationship is that complicated. Can you tell me? Okay, then this time. Let's proceed with the video with the theme, a thorough explanation of the history of Satoshi and Red, please. Well then, please take it easy. Please take it easy. Pokémon Red Green release. First of all, I will explain the origin of the Pokémon series. It goes back to the release of Pokémon Red and Green. It's really the origin. First, an explanation of the first generation Red Green. This is a work released in 1996 as a GB software. In the current Pokémon game, you can freely change the main character's gender and appearance. In the first generation, there was a fixed male protagonist and no character makeup. Character makeup is a popular element these days. In the latest SV, I could almost hear people lamenting the lack of skirts. That's how many people are so obsessed with it. Although he is the main character of the first generation, he is called Red in the current media mix. Yes, it's the same with external works, but also with the Pokémon series. Even when he reappeared as a secret boss in Gold and Silver in HGSS, he was Red. In addition, BW2 Pokémon World Tournament. When he appears at the battle facility commonly known as PWT, his name is Red. It was also Red when it reappeared in SM, Usum. It is widely recognized that the first protagonist is Red. However, at the time of the first generation, Red was not the only default name. Is that so? Or rather, can you find out the main character's default name in-game? In the latest SV, it is widely used that the male protagonist is Haruto and the female protagonist is Aoi. I guess it didn't appear in the game? That's no wonder. In the first generation, when setting the name, as an alternative to deciding on your own, you can also choose from pre-prepared plans. Is that so? I forgot. It may be a feature that you tend to forget unless you create new data frequently. Now, Red appeared in the game on the settings screen with this name. You have a chance to see it before you start the game. Is that so? I wonder where on earth. It's the instruction manual that comes with it. Wow, so nostalgic. The one that was changed to an electronic manual some time ago and disappeared. I really liked reading that. There may be some retro games. In the Red-Green manual, there is an item called the beginning of the journey. The main character's default name is listed there. Actually, the contents of the instructions for Red and Green are different. Hey, it's so elaborate. What's the difference? Surprisingly, in Red's manual, the main character's default name is Red. On the Green side, it's Green. I didn't know this. I mean, when I hear Green. Nowadays, it has become a popular name for rival boys. It's fun to compare the differences between the initial concept and the current situation like this. So far, I have introduced the beginnings of the first generation Pokémon, Red and Green. Next up is the Pokémon media mix and scenes where Red's name is used. Next, I will explain the history of Anapoke in chronological order. Got it. Giepi. First of all, the oldest comic, also known by the nickname Giepi. Let's introduce Pocket Monsters, created by Yuki Anakubo. Geppi is a gag manga starring Pippi. Her facial features are quite different from Pippi in the main story. That's right, and here, because it's a bit complicated to introduce, Pokemon is the same as the original Pokemon game. Let's call this manga Pokemon series Giepi. Got it. Well, let's get started, but may I ask you a question? Good. Speaking of Pokemon faces, isn't it Pikachu? It's a company logo. That's right. Speaking of Pokemon, if asked, almost everyone would answer Pikachu. That's right. Then, why is Pippi the main character in Giepi? Oh, you looked at the good things. There's a reason why this manga was published. Season? First of all, Red Green was released in February 1996. The first time this Giepi was serialized in Korokoro comic was in April 1996. By the way, the title at that time was Mysterious Pokemon Pippi. It's been around since very early on. But what does this have to do with Pippi being the main character? Actually, Pippi in the game has an adorable appearance. There's a setting where it's as popular as Pikachu and pudding. Hey, I didn't know. Also, the author Yuki Anakubo has said this in the past. In fact, when I started writing about Giepi, I had some materials about Pokemon. It turns out that it almost doesn't exist. The three main families are Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, and the other Pokémon are. The only materials available are Pikachu and Pippi, and even the Monster Ball settings. Apparently it wasn't clear. Manga artists are amazing because they can create manga in such situations. By the way, author Yuki Anakubo's favorite is Pikachu. Apparently, he insisted that Pikachu be the main character. It seems that Pippi was chosen after discussions with related parties. Did that happen? Well, Gieppi has contributed to the prosperity of Pokémon content since the beginning of Pokémon. In fact, the setting where the protagonist is red and the rival is green was established. This is Gieppi. That's right. As I explained earlier, in the manual, the main character is. It wasn't decided whether it was red or green. This Gieppi became established by using the name Red. It was truly one of the earliest media works. Pokespi. The next thing I'll introduce is another manga work. If Gieppi is a gag manga, this one is probably famous as a serious work. That's what Pokemon Special is commonly known as Pokespi. Speaking of Pokemon manga, many people probably think of this. Pokespi is a manga that was first released in April 1997, 1 year after Gieppi. Come to think of it, what was the Pokespi story like? I remember that some of the original characters appeared, but their positions seem to have changed quite a bit. That's right, Pokespi is not based on the original work. Set in the world and characters of Pokemon games. It's mostly based on an original story. It's true that the region in which the new movie is set changes as the new movie is released. Could you just tell me the synopsis of the Kanto arc? The main character Red is entrusted with an illustrated book by Professor Oak. While adventuring in the Kanto region, you fill in picture books and fight against evil organizations. The basic settings are the same, but what is noteworthy is that some of the 4 heavenly kings and gym leaders. The fact that he appears as a villain. This is probably a rare expression of violence in the Pokemon world. It's a unique work, isn't it? Now, Pokespi is a long-running series that has been running for over 20 years since its release in 1997. In this Pokespi, the main character's name is Red, and his partner is Pikachu, whose settings are similar to Satoshi from Anapoke. It's true that Pippi was Geppet's partner. Also, at the same time that Pokespi was announced, several other manga works were also announced. That's right. For example, there is a work called Dengeki Pikachu. This is a comic based on the anime scenario with the main character named Satoshi. The details are different. I wonder if it was a collaboration project with Anapoke, or rather, it was around the same time as Anapoke. There is also something called Manga Edition Pocket Monster Complete Book. The main character's name is Satoshi here as well, and it's the same that the main character aspires to be a Pokemon master. However, the content is based on the main game. A lot of things happened, where did Satoshi's name come up? Including this, I will introduce it in the next section. Anapoke. Well, now it's time for the long wait. Here's an introduction to Satoshi from Anapoke. This is what I was concerned about. First, an explanation about Anapoke. The anime, Pokémon, began broadcasting on April 1, 1997. It goes without saying that it's a very popular anime. I think there are fewer people who don't know. The main character is Satoshi, a boy who aims to become a Pokémon master, and his partner is Pikachu. When you think of Pokémon, the image of Pikachu became established. This Anapoke will have a big influence. It's true that Gosenkai is a partner in the game work. That's how big the influence of anime was. In fact, this Anapoke is said to be the spark that sparked the first Pokémon boom. I don't know what the enthusiasm was at the time, but it seems like it was pretty big. By the way, why was Pikachu chosen as the main character of Anapoke? Maybe Pippi wasn't good enough. Apparently Pippi and Pudding, who were mentioned earlier, were also candidates. Is that so? I wonder what's different about the other two. In the first place, I wanted to have a cute Pokemon as my partner. This was due to the producer's intention to expand the target audience to include girls. Sure, I hate saying this, but if Golbat or something like that was my partner, I might not be able to get a girl. It's not that I have any envy towards Golbat, but it's like that as an example. There are other reasons why Pikachu was selected. Reasons such as uses electricity, and looks flashy and is most suitable for the main character. Looks like Pikachu was chosen. I think it was a wise decision. In addition, it was popular among the staff, and Korokoro comic at the time. Apparently it was a unanimous vote, as it was ranked number 1 in popularity in a reader survey. In the first place, Anapoke was popular even before it aired. But wasn't it bad for the 3 family Pokemon? Are you absolutely attached to the 3 families? By the way, which of the 3 families does Reimu like the most? Bulbasaur. What if Satoshi's Pokemon was Charmander and Bulbasaur rarely appeared? What do you think about Reimu? That makes me so sad. Oh, that's what it is. Yes, as a result of consideration for players who like the three major families who were not selected. Apparently there was a trend to select partners from outside the three major families. This is a good consideration. I'm also curious, where did the name Satoshi come from? You didn't put it on properly, did you? There's definitely an origin. Earlier, when setting the name of the main character in red-green, there were several options. Didn't I explain that it was prepared for you? Yes, I heard that. Satoshi was a candidate for that nickname. I see, it was a name that also appeared in the game. But why Satoshi? Was it that major of a name? It's probably not an uncommon name, but Taro is probably more popular. Apparently, in the past, names were sometimes given in order of birth. Taro, Jiro, Saburo, and Shiro. Well then, it's all the more mysterious that he was given the name Satoshi. That's right, then let's explain the origin of the name Satoshi. I'm curious. Origin of Satoshi. Now, about the origin of the name Satoshi. This is exactly the name of Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokémon. It's Satoshi. That was the developer's name. But Pokémon developers often appear in the game. It's a sense of fun on the creator's part. By the way, what kind of person is Satoshi Tajiri? Mr. Tajiri is 59 years old, born in 1965, and is the current president of Game Freak. You're the president, right? Mr. Tajiri is the founder of Game Freak, but what is the origin of his name? The title of the game strategy magazine monochrome copy magazine that I wrote by myself when I was in my third year of high school was. Apparently it was, Game Freak. Hey, creating a magazine by yourself is the embodiment of action. And it seems to have sold like hotcakes. Through the publication of Game Freak, I gained connections and friends. Created, Quinty, the first full-scale game. As a result of bringing this ROM cassette directly to Bandai Namco Entertainment. Bantam has decided to release this game. It sold 200,000 units, a huge hit for an independently produced game. Game Freak was founded based on these sales. The energy to take action is truly amazing. Game Boy was released in April 1989, the same year Game Freak was founded. Mr. Tajiri focused on the communication technology that is a feature of this GB. I created the initial concept for Pokémon. It was a good place to look. More than 6 years passed, struggling with funding and development, but in 1996. Pokémon Red and Green are finally released, and there is no need to explain the rest of the process. Pokémon was a game born from Tajiri-san's love for games and his incredible energy. He's the creator of Pokémon. It may have been a natural progression to borrow the name from Mr. Tajiri. Pikachu version. When it comes to Oni Pokken games, the existence of a Pikachu version is essential. There are 4 versions of the original Pokémon: Red, Green, Blue, and Pikachu. By the way, when was the Pikachu version released? The Pikachu version was released in September 1998. I guess it's about a year after the Anapoke broadcast, so strike while the iron is hot? That's right, I think it's good timing. I would like to take this opportunity to explain the differences between the Pikachu version and the other 3 versions. Please. The Pikachu version was created by incorporating anime elements due to the huge success of Anapoke. In other words, it's a re-import of anime. That's it. Now, regarding the differences between the Pikachu version and the other 3 versions, the first thing to mention is. Probably the point is that the partner is Pikachu instead of the 3 main families. This is just the title. And this buddy Pikachu can be taken along with him. This Pikachu version is the first to feature walking, a popular feature in the Pokémon series. It was a feature that had been around for a long time, and I had a strong impression of HGSS. Also, one of the characteristics of this Pikachu is that it cannot evolve into Raichu. Pikachu doesn't like getting into the ball, including around here. Pikachu doesn't want to evolve into Raichu. It reminds me of Satoshi's Pikachu. That's right, is there anyone else that comes to mind as a villain in Anapoke? Of course, there's something about Team Rocket, the little villains you can't hate. Musashi and Kojira, and Meowth. That's right, when you think of Team Rocket, many people may think of those 2 and 1 animal. But it's not in the game, right? That's right, it appears in the Pikachu version. On a side note, I think Pikabooey is a remake of the first generation. Picture. That's right, that kind of thing was also re-imported. Come to think of it, aren't the original 3 families available in the Pikachu version? No, there is a chance to get all 3 from the NPC. Picture. It's not very luxurious. After all, Anapoke was so popular that there was a whole series of software themed around it. Well, the release of the Pikachu version wasn't just due to the anime's popularity. Is that so? The Pikachu version is originally from the movie version of Pokémon, Mewtwo Strikes Back. It was sold as a commemoration of the release. Korokoro Comics at the time told a different story behind the scenes. What on earth is that? To summarize, this is an apology for the postponement of the release of the next work, Gold and Silver. Ah, I see, there is also the aspect that it was released to fill a blank period. It seems so. Well, that being said, it was made into an anime and a movie within 2 years of its release. You can see that Pokemon's momentum in developing content is amazing. That's amazing. Shigeru and Green. In adventure games like Pokemon, there are often rival characters. That's right. And speaking of Red's rival, it's Green. Satoshi's rival is Shigeru. Huh? It's late, but don't these two look alike? I noticed something good. No matter what, Anapoke's Shigeru is modeled after the game version of Green. I guess that's the case. Are there any similarities between the two settings? First of all, is the blood relationship obvious? Shigeru's grandfather is Professor Oak, but this is Green's grandfather in the game version. It's inherited from being Professor Oak. I followed the settings around there. We also have similar personalities as well. Shigeru carries over the slightly harsh feel that is characteristic of Green. Where did the name Shigeru first appear? It's one of the options for the rival's name in the Red version. This name also appeared in the game version. The name Satoshi comes from Satoshi Tajiri, the creator of Pokémon. Does Shigeru also have a motif? Ah, the person who became the motif is Shigeru Miyamoto. You know his name, or rather, he was a great figure at Nintendo, right? Ah, yes, he's definitely a Nintendo heavyweight. However, Miyamoto's achievements are perhaps more famous as a game programmer. What kind of work did you create? Mario series, Legend of Zelda series, Donkey Kong series, etc. It's Nintendo's big hit game, or rather, it's a worldwide game. He was such an amazing person. In the first place, Nintendo executives have created blockbuster games in the past. There are many great game programmers. But why did you choose Shigeru as your rival's name? Apparently it's because he's a person Tajiri respects. I see, Mr. Tajiri respects Mr. Miyamoto. In the past, he said, as a mentor and rival, I've always been a little ahead of the curve. I'll never catch up, he said. The person that Mr. Tajiri, the creator of Pokémon, respects is no ordinary person after all. So, Satoshi's rival Shigeru. Also, it was an explanation about Red's rival Green and its origin. Satoshi in English-speaking countries. Did you know that Anapoke is broadcast not only in Japan but also overseas? Japanese anime is also very popular overseas. So, for example, do you know what Satoshi is called in English-speaking countries? Picture, Satoshi or something? It's not just a simple word like that. Then I'll bet on Bob or John. Well, it may be a major name in English-speaking countries. The correct answer is Ash in English-speaking countries. By the way, in Korea it is called Jiwoo, and in France it is called Sasha. In China, it is called Xiaoji, but there are differences depending on the country. But I don't hear Ash very often, I'm sure it means Ash? Satoshi in Japanese is called Gravel Boy by Team Rocket. I've also heard that sorry Toshi is a play on letters. It is true that Ash is Ash, but the official origin of the name is. The name, Ash, is derived from the Japanese name, Satoshi, and A-S-H. Apparently they changed the name to one that is familiar in English-speaking countries. Hey, interesting play on words. By the way, my last name is Ketchum. This is Satoshi's line, let's get Pokemon. English version of, gotta catch 'em all. It seems to be a play on the phrase, catch 'em all. That's a lot of thought. By the way, what is Red's name in English? It's just, Red. This one was simple, Red in Gold and Silver. The next thing I'd like to introduce is Red in Gold and Silver. Speaking of Gold and Silver, it's 1 year after the Pikachu version and 2 years after the Anapoke broadcast. I believe it was released in 1999. That's right, Gold and Silver is set in a world 3 years after the original, and from the protagonist to Red. Replaced by a new protagonist. And the reason why Gold and Silver are highly rated is that you can explore 2 regions. Just when you thought your adventure in the Johto region was over. The adventure in the Kanto region has begun, right? Works that allow you to explore 2 regions are both Gold, Silver, and Crystal. It's just a remake of HGSS. It's a great work. Now, speaking of the position of Red, which appeared in Gold and Silver, it goes without saying that he's the secret boss. It's really strong. The level was too high. Introducing such a Red party. Pikachu at level 81, Effie at level 73, Snorlax at level 75. They are level 77 Fushigibana, Charizard, and Blastoise. In the first place, it's strange that he brings out a level 81 Pikachu on his first move. This level is even seen throughout the Pokémon series from the past to the present. It's a hell of a difficulty level that puts you in the top ranks. I was so disappointed when I saw level 81 for the first time. By the way, in HGSS, my holdings have changed a bit. Pikachu at level 88, Lapras at level 80, Snorlax at level 82. They are level 84 Fushigibana, Charizard, and Blastoise. Why did you raise it? 88 seems like it's about to jump into 90? I guess Red wants to be strong no matter what. By the way, HGSS also adds items to carry. The first Pikachu has an electric doll. It's an item that strengthens Pikachu, it's not a serious formation. Another difficult point is that the summit of Mount Shirogane, where the battle takes place, is always snowing. The blizzard used by Lapras, Snorlax, and Blastoise is sure to hit. It's scary how they're going to take advantage of the land. However, Gold and Silver Crystal and HGSS have the ability to defeat all the Reds. I hope you do your best. Let's raise our level and fight against them. Red and FRLG. The next game we will introduce is a game released on GBA in 2004. It's Red and FRLG. I can understand this without being told. FRLG is a remake of the original, so of course he's the main character. That's right, FRLG has added a large map called Nanashima. This work is still popular due to its various divine modifications. The fact that the main character is Red is the same as in the first generation. Huh? But didn't FRLG have a female protagonist? I noticed something good. In the works after Crystal, you could choose the main character to be either a boy or a girl. Of course, FRLG also has a female protagonist. By the way, this one is often called Leaf. It's a Pokémon that doesn't forget to consider female players. The Red in FRLG is basically the same as the first generation, but the design has been changed. What does it feel like? In the first generation, Red's facial features are similar to those of today's Satoshi. After FRLG, they are drawn differently and look like different people. It can be seen as a change in the picture, but Satoshi has been established as a different entity. Maybe they changed the design a little to differentiate between Red and Satoshi. Red in PWT. Next up is Red at PWT. PWT refers to the Pokémon World Tournament, a facility that appeared in BW2. The name was mentioned at the beginning, but I don't really know what kind of facility it is. Well then, let me explain about PWT first. Please. PWT is a battle facility located just south of Hotomoy City. As a major feature, trainers from the Unova region as well as many gym leaders and champions from other regions that have appeared so far will appear. When fighting, if it's a gym leader, it's a gym leader battle. If you are a champion, use BGM arranged for the champion battle. Sharona is already fighting in Sazanami town. He's so particular about it that he uses a different arrangement than he used at that time. Are you putting too much effort into it? It's great because it makes you feel nostalgic. There are several types of tournaments. First of all, the Hotomoy tournament, which you will definitely participate in the story. Unova Leaders Tournament with 13 gym leaders from the Unova region participating. Kanto Leaders Tournament where 8 gym leaders from the Kanto region participate. Johto Leaders Tournament where 8 gym leaders from the Johto region participate. Hoenn Leaders Tournament with 9 gym leaders from the Hoenn region participating. Sinnoh Leaders Tournament where 8 gym leaders from the Sinnoh region participate. So far, the 5 regional divisions that appeared before the release of BW2. And the World Leaders Tournament, in which all 46 gym leaders will participate. 7 people will participate: Green, Wataru, Red, Daigo, Makori, Sharona, and Adeku. There's a tournament of champions. Red is treated as the champion of the Kanto region. Ah, that's right. By the way, the 2 names he has introduced are Living Legend. A living legend. That's cool. Is Red strong in PWT? Let me introduce what I have first. Red has Fushigibana, Charizard, and Blastoise. They are Pikachu, Snorlax, and Lapras. I have it on hand from HGSS. However, due to the specifications of PWT, the Pokémon that are sent out are randomly selected and are fixed at level 50. So, the Pokémon's race values and raw ability values are important. Huh? Aren't all of Red's characters low in racial value? Have you noticed? Pikachu goes without saying, but there aren't even any members of the 600 clan such as Gavria's. Honestly, I'm not very strong. I guess it means that the strength depends on the level. Well, raising the Pokémon's level to that level. It's proof of his hard work and he's definitely a powerful trainer. That's right, Red in SM. The next thing I'd like to introduce is Red from SM. A generation has passed. Red doesn't appear in XY and Auras. Unfortunately he won't appear. Oh, what a shame. SM is a software for 3DS released in 2016. There is a minor change version called Usum. Does Red appear in both works? Oh, it'll come out both ways. Also, Red's rival Green will also appear together. Oh, this is a nice surprise. Red appears in the Battle Tree. Battle Tree is a battle facility in SM. At the facility that you can visit after entering the Hall of Fame, you can battle with trainers of each generation. You can scout trainers and have them join you in multi-battles. When you first visit, you'll meet Red and Green and have to battle with one of them. What did Red and Green come to the Battle Tree for? Sightseeing? I was invited as a battle legend, a powerful trainer in the Battle Tree. The fame of these two has reached all the way to the Alola region. By the way, Red is silent and does not speak. Green will do the talking for you. Oh, I see, this needs Green. It's true that Red is a silent character in almost all the works he appears in. What does it feel like to have Red in the Battle Tree? In hand when fighting in front of the Battle Tree. Pikachu at level 70, Lapras at level 65, Snorlax at level 65. They are level 66 Fushigibana, Charizard, and Blastoise. It's getting really weak. However, all of these Pokemon have 6 volts and their effort values are maxed out. That's strong. By the way, Usum is a little stronger. Level 74 Pikachu, level 69 Lapras, level 69 Snorlax. They are level 70 Fushigibana, Charizard, and Blastoise. My level has increased a little, but it's still weak compared to HGSS. In battle as a battle legend, the Pokemon itself. Out of these 6, 5 will be selected excluding Pikachu. Level is fixed at 50. However, depending on the difficulty level, the 3 major families may become Mega Evolved. When it comes to Charizard, there are Mega Charizard X and Mega Charizard Y. You don't know which way it will evolve, so it's a pretty strong enemy. It would be dangerous if I misread it. It's more powerful than PWT's Red, and the Battle Tree is content where winning streaks are important. I want to fight without letting my guard down. Let's be careful. Satoshi Gekuga. SM actually had a special trial version available. Do you know Reimu? Ah, that happened, but it hasn't happened recently. If you clear the trial version, you will receive a special Pokemon. Is that so? By the way, what can I get? This is Satoshi Gekuga. Wow, so nostalgic. It appeared in the anime. I don't really remember though. Don't you remember? Well, it's a memory from so long ago. Well, it's been almost 10 years now, so let's also explain about Satoshi Gekuga. Shameless. Satoshi Gekuga is a Pokemon that appeared in Anapoke's XY edition. By synchronizing Satoshi's Gekuga and Satoshi's heart, it's a form with Satoshi's features added to its appearance. It's shocking to see humans and Pokemon merging. I feel like there was a manga like that in the past, but I don't know anything about it. Stop digging up discontinued manga with dark history. By the way, the first Pokemon that Satoshi caught after coming to the Kalos region was Karomatsu. This Gekuga is the oldest member. He's the oldest member of Kalos other than Pikachu. Pokemon Games and Anapoke were separated so they wouldn't intersect. It was quite a shock to see this Satoshi Gekuga appear in the game. It feels like history is moving. Satoshi Gekuga in the game. It has a special characteristic called Kazuna Henge. This characteristic can be used to hide other Pokemon with attack moves. It is about changing form to Satoshi Gekuga. It's a form change only during battle. By the way, Gekuga appears in SV, but can he become Satoshi Gekuga? That's it, Kazuna Henge in SV. When you use an attack move to make other Pokemon angry, your attack, special attack, and speed rank corrections will each increase by 1 level. The effect was changed to Satoshi Gekuga, and Satoshi Gekuga was deleted. That's too bad. It's an exclusive element for SM and Usum. Maybe it's a privilege of the past works, but I'd like them to come back. Red and Pokémon. The next one to introduce is Red, who appears in Pokémon Masters X, also known as Pokémon Masters. This is a social game. I also have it on my smartphone. Are you playing? I'm only pulling gacha. Yeah, I don't play much. Yeah. Explaining Pokémon, a smartphone game that focuses on the bond between Pokémon and trainers. The characters are trainers and Pokémon that also appeared in the main story. Basically, they are implemented in sets, although there are sometimes original characters. Red is appearing in that social game, right? Which Pokémon is your partner? Since Red has multiple units installed, he also has multiple types of companions. Charizard, Snorlax, Pikachu, Freezer, and Fushigibana. Of these, only the Freezer stands out. I don't really have an image of Red. Also, Red who appears in this Pokémon Masters is also basically silent. When it comes to Red, reticence has become established. Come to think of it, I think Pokémon was a game with voices. Is there a voice actor? Oh, Shota Aoi is in charge. Ah, it's there, it's not completely silent. If that's the case, it's too surreal. Satoshi from Pokémon. This is a detailed explanation about Pokémon Masters. Pokémon is a work that focuses on the world of the game, and the characters that appear in Anapoke are. He hasn't appeared for a long time. Didn't it appear? Why past tense? Surprisingly, Satoshi will be implemented in Pokémon Masters in 2022. Yeah, we've finally crossed the line between anime and games. Oh, that's a surprise. His partner is, of course, Pikachu, and he made his first appearance in the special event, the Deadly 10-Man Volts. From August 28, 2022, there will be a limited-time buddy search, so-called gacha. It's now available. It was for a limited time. In a sense, it feels like a commemorative implementation. What kind of strength do you have in the game? I won't go into detailed performance details, but it seems to be quite strong. As expected from the main character of Anapoke. Also, when Satoshi was implemented, two people from the anime, Musashi and Kojira, also appeared. Pokémas is dyed in the color of Anapoke. The two members of Team Rocket have previously appeared in the Pikachu version and Pikabui. Satoshi was the only one who didn't appear in the game's world line. Huh? Satoshi has come to Pokémon Masters, so maybe Satoshi and Red are coexisting? You're right, you noticed a good point. Red, the first protagonist who was also the model for Satoshi. It's exciting to see Satoshi, who has led Anapoke for over 20 years, co-starring with him. Maybe this was possible because it's not a main game, but an extra edition smartphone game. Satoshi's graduation. Now, the last thing I will explain is the person who has been active as the main character of Anapoke for over 20 years. It's about Satoshi's graduation. Oh, this was sad. Win the Pokémon World Championship ships. Even though he became world champion both in name and reality, Satoshi's Anapoke ended. Many friends and Pokémon who traveled together in past works have appeared. It felt like a climax. But as a story, there was a break. Satoshi won on the episode broadcast on November 11, 2022. More than 25 years have passed since the first Anapoke broadcast started in 1997. It's been 25 years of contributing to the growth of Pokémon content. However, just because Satoshi graduated doesn't mean Anapoke is over. A new series starring Rico and Roy will begin in 2023. To be more realistic, what kind of influence does anime have on content? I think it's pretty big, so I'm glad it's not the end completely. The current Anapoke is also quite popular, so please check it out if you have time. As a side note, Satoshi's victory was announced hugely on Shibuya's Street View. I feel like this was possible because Pokémon has become such a large-scale content even when viewed globally. So this time, the theme is a thorough explanation of the history of Satoshi and Red. We've been watching the video, but how was Reimu? Yes, the settings that were fluffy in the first generation. It was decided through comic adaptations and anime. I realized that the current situation was divided. That's right, the first protagonist is red in the red version and green in the green version. There was a lot of fluctuation in the notation, but the first thing we did was to sort it out. It might have been a Gyepi manga. Gyepi, who was written with very little information about the setting, is amazing. After that, Anapoke was broadcast, and Red's character design was slightly changed in FRLG. It feels like we are completely separated due to various reasons. Combining the game and anime, I felt the history of Pokémon for almost 30 years. Well then, that's all for this video. This channel also uploads other videos about Pokémon. I want you to take a look. What if there was a setting like the surprising connection between Satoshi and Red that everyone knows about? Please let me know in the comments section. Please subscribe to the channel and give us a high rating. Well then, thank you for watching.